Can I win the Rubik's Cube New England Championship?
No.
Well, hey, who said that? Well, in this video, I'll be breaking down my experience at the 2025 Rubik's Cube New England Championship, which had a bunch of ups, downs, and some questionable moments. First, I think you guys probably want to learn more about the thing, and that thing is the states relay. If you don't know what the states relay is, it's where teams of 3 from a bunch of different states solve against each other to see who wins. So we had Connecticut, Maine, and I had the chance to represent Massachusetts as their first seeded team, or Massachusetts won. And in the first round, we went against Maine 2. Now, I had never done anything like this before, so I was really nervous. I was spamming solves to keep my hands warm, but there was nothing to fear, right? We were one of the best teams there, right? Well, I'm just gonna say it, we lost. And in my case, I got a cube drop, which caused some problems. Okay, I'm just gonna skip a little bit so we don't have to ingrain this in our memories. But yeah, that kind of really sucked, especially because we were supposed to go pretty much all the way. It was a tough loss, but luckily because it was so bad, we could laugh it off, and it felt like this huge fail instead of actually getting beaten, even though we did. I also remember that we all got the same scrambles, and we got a 5-move X cross, so I thought, wow, this is gonna be a great first solve. And then yeah. Okay, let's move on to some of my official results. So first, I was actually really proud to get second in 4x4 and one-handed. Unfortunately, I didn't win either of those events, even though I won both of the first rounds, but I actually didn't feel bad at all. After competing a while with some of these guys at Nats, Worlds, other comps, stuff like that, it didn't feel serious, like I needed to win. So when I didn't win these events, I didn't feel bad at all, which was nice. I've also discovered that I think I make a lot of weird faces while solving. Like for example, in my 2x2 PR single, you can see me during inspection like, I don't even know. Like this is my locking in face, which is quite weird. Do you guys have a cubing focus face? Let me know in the comments. Also, we almost didn't make cube because we were at like a pizzeria and like all the cubers were there and there was one server, one chef. So we sprinted out of there. Here's me getting some exercise. And we made it to the venue. We tried to warm up as best as we could and then immediately had to go compete. But in the end, we realized basically an average qualified to the next round. So that was great. And finally, here's a photo of a guy walking around with a snake. Like I literally couldn't believe my eyes when I was walking past him. What? Okay, but now I have to talk about the purpose of the competition, my 3x3 results, which was the event that determined the New England champion. It all started with the semifinals, where the top 16 would advance. I saw that the average to qualify for the finals of the Connecticut championship was 7.6 from last week, so I thought, you know, get around that time, maybe low 8. And everything started fine. I started with a 6, and unlike myself, but then I got a little rattled when I got a 9. But I thought, okay, I'm literally not gonna do that next solve. Well, I literally did exactly that. I got a 9 on solve 3. So now I had a counting 9, which was not good. I tried to compose myself for solve 4, where I got a high 7. As you can see from my reaction, I thought I needed a really good solve on solve 5. Being completely honest, I thought I would need close to a sub 7 to make it to the final, which would be tough under this pressure. I really thought that, wow, I'm just not gonna qualify. This is where it all ends. But I also told myself to try my best, because if I don't deserve to make it to the finals anyways. A 6.5. I actually clutched up, what? But then I realized I would have made it to the final anyways if that was my worst solve, with my 2 counting 9.4s. Yeah, I was actually so proud of myself too. But then I realized it just wasn't as clutch as I thought it was. Okay, now 3x3 finals. This was head-to-head, and I somehow have never done a head-to-head final before. So I was pretty nervous. When I was in the waiting area, I was spamming solves again, and I was just telling myself to just do my best, just like the semifinal. Also, Curtis was like watching the news or something. He kept telling us about the weather and the earthquakes. I thought that was interesting. Anyways, we eventually got called down and I sat down to solve. To be honest, some of my nerves went away because I really thought I wasn't gonna win and I just wanted to get on the New England podium. So I just wanted to have fun with it. Anyways, here's solve 1. Okay, an 8, not super bad considering the pressure. I'm not sure if you could tell, but before my first solve, I was like, wow, I'm really doing this. I couldn't believe that my whole cubing career led to a head-to-head final in front of a bunch of people. So that was a good feeling. Here's solve 2. A 6, okay. I mean, I was really happy to get a good solve for the crowd. Solves 3 and 4 went fine, but then my nerves pretty much all went away because Daniel, who was across the room solving, got 4 6s in a row. So I was out of it. But I really just wanted to pull off a good showing for myself and the crowd. So here's my solve 5. And there we go, a low 7. I got a 7.55 average and placed 4th, but got 3rd on the New England podium. Although I didn't win, I was actually really proud of myself for performing decently well under that kind of pressure. Normally this average is like whatever in competition, but I was really proud to do so well in front of so many people. To be honest, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to that point in 2023 where I almost could have won it all. But right now, I'm super content with my cubing and excited for more comps and content in the future. So see you guys in the next one or at a future comp, who knows?